Founding Fathers believed that governmental power needed to be restrained or limited. Some wanted a strong president, some wanted a strong Congress, some wanted strong states, and some just wanted strong deodorant because it was a little gross in Philly in July. But anyhow, one of those ways they limited the power of the national government was through a system called federalism. Federalism is a system of government where power is divided between the national or federal government and several state or regional governments. In the US, governmental power is divided between the national government, the US government, and all 50 state governments. Then we even have further county and city governments. This means each level must share power with the others, limiting individual power. The Constitution gives the national government specific powers, reserving all others to the states and people. It also gives some powers to all levels of government, and it denies some powers to the federal government or to the states. Powers that are given directly to the national government are known as delegated powers. You can see a list of some of these behind me over here. These delegated powers come in three types: expressed, implied, and inherent. Express powers are directly stated in the Constitution. These are powers such as the power to levy and collect taxes, or the power to raise and maintain an army and navy, or the power to declare war. So right out of the Constitution. Implied powers are not directly stated in the Constitution, but must exist in order to carry out the express powers. For example, in order to raise and maintain an army, we need troops. If no one is going to volunteer to be a troop, then the national government can draft. So the implied power is the power to draft. The necessary and proper, or elastic clause that Mr. Martinez told you about gives the powers to the national government. The third type of express power is inherent power. Inherent powers are powers that are inherent parts of being a national government, meaning they're part of it without being written down. Examples of this would include things like controlling immigration or establishing foreign relations. The Constitution does not say that the national government must do this, but it's accepted that it's a role of the national government. There are also powers that are shared between the national and state governments, powers known as concurrent powers, shared powers. Some of these are on the chart behind me. Here you go. These are powers that both levels of government have and can exercise simultaneously. For example, both levels of government can tax. Both can create and maintain courts and define crimes. So all of those are shared or concurrent powers. Powers that are state powers and not national powers are called reserved powers. There's a list of those here now. Amendment 10 clearly reserves any powers not specifically given to the national government to the states. Powers that fall under this include regulation of schools and licensing of professional workers, as well as your driver's license. So that would be a state power. There are also some powers known as denied powers, powers that a level of government cannot have, really any level. States cannot conduct foreign affairs. They don't do that. No level of US government can give a title of nobility to a person, so you can't be a knight. These are all called denied powers. Sometimes conflict exists between the states and the national government over who has the power over an issue. In these cases, the supremacy clause becomes important. In Article 4 of the Constitution, it states, "This Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby." Basically, this statement makes the Constitution the supreme law of the land, or the most important law. All other laws made within any level of US government must follow the Constitution. After the Constitution in importance comes the national laws and treaties, then state constitutions, then state laws, and then lower level government laws and acts. Using this, courts determine who has the right to powers when there's a conflict and debate.